Hey, what's going on, everybody? Checking in with y'all once again. Another great episode, another exciting episode, whatever you want to call it. Today again, I'm doing these live videos specifically for you, for new and existing authors who are looking for tips and want to take their writing to the next level, want to take their careers as a writer to the next level. So hopefully these have been helpful. If you're on with me, do me a favor, drop a comment, hit that like button, do the share thing, right? There's other people out there and we're trying to help them get those books out of their heads and onto the paper so that they can help other people. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Ray Destin Jr. I am the CEO and founder of BOBM Publishing, LLC. We're a full service publishing house that has launched the last 266 authors to Amazon #1 bestseller. Just a quick announcement. This weekend, we're having an amazing launch. A father and daughter are launching their books, plural books, on the same day. So we are having a historic launch again this weekend. So if you have time, look us up on Eventbrite, and we have the Eventbrite that's coming. Hey, Ms. Dawn, thank you so much for the comment. Thank you so much for the comment. And so let me jump into it with you. Today I'm talking about descriptive writing. Why am I talking about descriptive writing? Because one thing that we've seen in our publishing house is that there are so many people who have written books with us. And when the initial work comes in, sometimes it's polished, sometimes it's amazing, sometimes it's over the top, and we're like, wow, this person can really write. Other times we've had those situations, not taking anything away from anyone, but there are some things that can be improved. So if you're a new writer or even an existing writer, let me give you some things with descriptive writing that can help to improve your writing. If you were on the live with me yesterday, you saw that I talked about including the 5 senses, and I actually wrote them down so that I can refer to them, because I always get them mixed up. Describing them in terms of sight, smell, sound, taste, and touch. Sight, smell, sound, taste, and touch. The reason that this is important as the first key is because a lot of people view the world differently. Some people view the world exclusively through their eyes. What they see is what they see. Some people, based on touch, if you know anything about the blind community, or the visually impaired community, they have to touch and feel surfaces to know where they're at. Remember the movie with Ray Charles, and the guy was on the bus, and he asked him, he said, how do you get around? And first comment was, how do you get around? Right. And the second comment that he said was, I use my other senses. He said, I can hear the world and I can touch the world. So what he meant was, he kept hard-soled shoes on so that those hard-soled shoes let him know how far away an opening was. If it was a door right there, the footsteps got really hollow. If it was a wall next to him, then he could hear that it was extremely there was a density to it. So they view the world through their ears and through touch. If you look at smell is a really big one, especially for people like me, foodies. I love food. You can't see the belly right now, but the belly is there, right? And so if you start talking about how something smells, if it's omniferous, if it smells like a rose, if it smells like I don't know, not yesterday, 2 days ago was Tuesday, so it smells like chicken. I'm just giving y'all examples. Don't go and just put something in your book and say it smelled like chicken. Describe the smell. The sight. What did it look like? Describe the visuals that you actually are able to see as you are going through. What does it taste like? If you're describing food, this is a perfect example of describing what something tastes like. If you're writing an erotic novel, again, that's another form of taste. We're not touching that one. But sight, smell, touch, taste, and sound. What sounds are in the air? Are the birds chirping? Are the children at play? Can you hear someone arguing in a distance? Can you hear a calming peace? Can you hear the water flow of a river or an ocean nearby? All of these things add to your writing and gives the reader a chance to literally dive into your work. And the more that they begin to dive into your work, the more they fall in love with it. That's what your writing is supposed to do. It's supposed to inspire, it's supposed to uplift, and it's supposed to give people a different experience than what they already have. So that is the senses. Next one is metaphors. Metaphors are when you kind of compare it to something, right? If you read again, I always go back to the Bible. That's my rule and God, my source. If you look at it, it describes us as the apple of God's eye. That's a metaphor. We know that God does not have an apple sitting in his eye, but we can understand the metaphor of, oh, he really enjoys our presence. He really values us. He really sees us as priceless. You can use those metaphors as a comparison, because if you just say something like a small barn, and you're talking about a farmhouse, and you describe it as a small barn may be different things to different people. For someone who's from the city, they may see a small barn as a 10 by 10 red house looking deal with doors on it. Give them a comparison of what it's like. Next thing is similes. The simile is when, again, it's another form of comparison, but you're comparing it to something specific. For example, if I was talking about me, I always joke and say, I'm only 6'7", but really for some people, 6'7" is shorter than them. Whereas for most people, I may be as tall as a skyscraper in their eyes, especially for little kids, because little kids always look at me and do this. So I can only imagine how bad their necks hurt after being around me. Use those similes to add to it, because you're giving, again, similes and metaphors are giving your reader a point of reference that they may not be familiar with the exact detail or the exact thing that you're talking about, but what they are familiar with are those things that you're comparing it to. And when you give them something that is comparable, then what ends up happening is now they have a chance to visualize it in their mind, or they can tap into one of their other senses so that they can actually make that happen. Next thing for descriptive writing is hyperboles. Hyperboles are extreme exaggerations. If you say something was it felt like it was 1,000 degrees, obviously we know it's not 1,000 degrees, because if you are anywhere and it is 1,000 degrees, it's not gonna be fun, and you probably melt instantly. But saying that it's hot, as it feels like it's as if it's 1,000 degrees, that's saying it's super hot. It's extremely hot. It's as hot as boiling water. We know how hot boiling water is, especially if you try to put your hand close to it. You know that burning feeling. You know how hot it feels, and you know what happens to your hand or any part of your skin. It instantly starts to melt, right? The last thing is personification. And personification is when you give human characteristics to inanimate objects, or to animals, or to trees. You describe it. The animals were playful. The flower, there was a joyful sense around the flowers. You understand that these things did not necessarily happen, but you gave them human characteristics so that it personifies them. It gives them their own personality. It gives them something to relate to. So these are the few things, like I said: using your senses, using metaphors, using similes, hyperboles, and personification. Whenever you are writing, a good time to use descriptive writing is anytime you're writing. The reason that you want to use that is because you want to allow people to not only read it and take the information in, but you want them to have an experience as they're writing. You want them to experience the scene. You want them to experience the joy. You want them to experience the pain. You want them to experience the pleasure. You want them to experience the excitement. Whatever it is, if there's a dangerous situation and you barely describe the danger, then they miss that moment. But if it's a dangerous situation and you say it felt like I was walking into a war zone because it was hot as fire outside. There were a few people that had a villainous look to them. You describe what they're wearing. These things bring people into your actual scene. And if you begin to use descriptive writing as you are writing your next book, your next novel, your next self-help book, your next biography, whatever it is that you're working on, include that descriptive writing, because it gives people a chance to experience. It gives people a chance to experience everything that you are already talking about. And that's exactly what you want. So again, if this was helpful, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that heart button, share it with somebody, because you never know who's out there looking to get their books written, who's looking to get started, and they can't get past this. This is the biggest obstacle that they have. And a lot of times there are people who are sitting there and they don't have the resources. They've done a lot of research. We're here as a tool. Again, my name is Ray Destin Jr. I'm the CEO and founder of BOBM Publishing. I love you guys, and there is absolutely nothing that you can do about it. Love y'all. Y'all have a great one.